Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and this is The Road to the Record, where I work to achieve mastery of 10 games and a hunt for the best score of the Decathlon. If you like what you see, remember to hit that like button. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. Let the games begin.
The more the paddock will respect you for succeeding.
This is F1 2018 Manager Mode. It's episode number 2 in the series, and it's still week 41 overall in the Gaming Decathlon competition. I've just selected Sergei Sorokin as my new rival. If you saw episode 1, then you know what we're up to, but if you haven't seen it yet, go back and check episode number 1 with an introduction to the series on what Manager Mode is. And with that, we are going to jump into free practice number 1 in China. This is the third race on the calendar, and my hope is to get all the way through 4 races in this episode. It's a lot more fast-paced than a regular career mode is.
This weekend sees us arrive in Shanghai for the Chinese Grand Prix. First up is today's practice session. A warm welcome once again to the man standing beside me in the commentary box for this session, Anthony Davidson. Hello, Ant. Excited to get underway?
Yeah, absolutely. I always look forward to seeing the cars get out there on track. They probably won't be on the limit immediately, of course. We know that 1 or 2 of the teams are looking to do some work on new aerodynamic packages, so that always takes some time to get into. But it'll be really interesting to see later on in the session what kind of performance gains are there to be found.
Alright, so by rule, I get 3 flying laps here in FP1, and that's all I get for practice. So we're going to jump in with the track acclimatization program on the medium tires straight into the flying lap. Like I said, this is a fast-paced mode, and this already is one of those big keys. So we head down the backstretch. And with just 1 turn to go, we are just about ready to go. Hot lap for the track acclimatization program. And there we go, we are underway. This tricky turn here. You've got to keep up the pace, but also hold the line. Alright, great start so far, all purples. Alright, really good lap so far, all purple. Well on my way towards not only passing, but potentially getting purple. Just hit the gate that time though. Almost missed it. And looking good. I'm at 395. I've already secured green. Can I get to purple before the end here? And that should do it. I think we're into purple. Yes. All right. Alright, straight back to the garage. Like I said, it's fast-paced. I'm not going to dilly-dally around. I'm not going to take the in-lap, out-lap. And we go almost perfect all the way through. Just 2 green corners. Everything else is purple. So there's 100 R&D points. That's huge. Huge for the progress in this series. I get 2 more flying laps.
1 minute, 41.8.
And I'm going to jump into fuel management. Through the first 2 races, I found fuel management is a lot more difficult here in the Sauber. as it seems to be really, really poor itself on fuel management. So this engine is just not good when it comes to fuel management. Literally just down the straight, it fades towards red instead of being balanced. Ooh, I did clip that bollard. I thought I might have. Watch, see how I'm drifting towards red? Now, I was off the gas almost entirely through that first corner. I barely touched it a few times, and yet I'm still in the red, so I did mostly coasting through an area of the course that usually I'm feathering the gas and trying to get the most that I can get out of it, and yet I'm still in the red. So, fuel management is particularly difficult, at least currently, with this car, and I might have to opt for something else besides fuel management. I'm not very good on tire management. It's one practice program that I tend to skip. I'm a second up on time, so I can afford to start doing some massive coasting. In fact, even while coasting, I'm getting further ahead on time. I'm 1.6 ahead. So I can afford some coasting at the moment. I am firmly into the green now. And here we go. Coast, 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 coast. Still 2 seconds up. I'm going to do some more coasting here. And before the finish line, let's coast. There we go. Purple. All right.
That last lap gives you P3. We're in.
Wow, and that's P3 at the moment. That was a great time with all that coasting. Of course, it's early in FP1, so there haven't been that many cars out on the track just yet, and they might not be pushing the way I am, but there's another 80 points, and I will head into ERS management for my final lap here. See what kind of points I can pick up. This is a real boost after a couple weak first weekends. We're going to start on that front stretch, but I'm going to start on none so that we can pick it up. Alright, let's see how quickly it moves in the right direction. Doing a lot of engine braking through there. And we are into purple, and I'm still green. In fact, I'm comfortably green, half a second, so looks like I should be able to easily get through this program as well with purples. This is one of my better tracks. That's part of this. Alright, so I'm well on my way to getting purple here. So, the last episode I mentioned I was going to get into the scoring this episode for the Gaming Decathlon. So if you're familiar with my channel, I take 10 games, and I'm trying to master those games, okay? Most channels, you'll find experts on a lot of channels, a lot of YouTube channels. Somebody that's really good at a game. And there you go. Okay, that's purple. That's 3 flying laps, so my practice is done. Even though there are 3 programs still out there to complete, that's all I get. So 250 points, well, that's That's about maximum other than team objectives. I could have done a qualifying practice and picked up another 10 or maybe even 15 if I could have gotten a top speed, but that's not really possible in this car. But with that, we skip straight to qualifying.
An interesting practice session there then.
Nice,
Let's remind
time
ourselves
6th.
of the top 3, who are Hulkenberg,
The fans really seem to enjoy that. You made it look easy. You've got a bit of rivalry going on. How did that come about?
Similar ability.
It's the start of the season. How do you think things are going to go for you?
With a great team like this, I can't fail. Let's see, I'm already... Sure.
Appreciate your time.
Alright, so... if you're familiar with my channel, right, I do 10 games. I'm trying to master all 10 games, which is a huge challenge. Most YouTubers can manage 1 or 2 games really effectively and get extremely good at those. And a lot of people watch that content because they're the best at those games and they learn something from it to play themselves. Or at least that's one way that people like to watch games, watch YouTubers. I'm trying to do 10, which is quite the challenge. Oh, I lose reputation. How do I lose reputation when I go purple, purple, purple? Bad. Bad, Sauber. Sorry. They're not a dog. Alright, we'll jump into qualifying here in a second. By the way, my team goal, this is a problem. Clean races. If I'm simulating races, how do I accomplish the goal? Well, I don't. I miss a lot of goals, and that's why my reputation is so hard, and that's why this mode is a good way to get yourself fired, so it's difficult to avoid. Alright, we jump straight into qualifying, and I'll continue with what I was talking about. So trying to master 10 games makes it that much more challenging, and every single one of the games is set up in a very challenging way. None of them are the easy route.
F1 qualifying session here in Shanghai, China.
For example, in F1 2018,
do you think we're going to see anyone
the
take a
easy
chance,
route,
maybe run the harder of the available compounds,
take his
and
seat,
save some of the grippy tires
right?
for the race tomorrow?
Well, I'd be surprised in all honesty. It's only the front runners that really have the pace to get away with that, and even then, at the end of the day, it's a big risk. Track position is the most important thing, and it's rarely worth sacrificing for a slightly more optimal strategy in the race, so I doubt we're going to see anyone trying it. I have been wrong before though. We certainly do see some risky decisions every now and then, and it's a gamble that's sometimes worth taking, but if it were...
Okay, sorry, let's get to it. That's the same message that they say almost every time. The easy way, right? Take Bottas's seat. Hop into a Mercedes. You've already got the best team. You should be able to score some points. Lower the difficulty level. You definitely should be able to outrace other cars. Have flashbacks on. Race a tough, challenging difficulty level, but have flashbacks on. So you're going around, you make a mistake, oh, flashback. Okay, going around, make a mistake, flashback. It's not realistic, right? Challenging is playing tough, playing with the worst team, and trying to overcome all that, and do it without the flashbacks, which I don't have flashbacks on here, by the way. Let's go to track. So that would be an example of what is the easy mode. So all my games are set up in that challenging way. Alright, I'm good so far. No carrot yet, so I'm right at the front through the first 2 turns. And there we go. Now the power of the Ferrari. It looks like Raikkonen is starting to pull out ahead of me, but I'm just behind him here. Lost a little bit on that corner, but just milliseconds. got a pretty good lap time going here so far. Hamilton now has overtaken Raikkonen and braking into that corner for the pole. That is the carrot that I'm chasing. It is the best time. And at the moment, it's Hamilton. Lost a little bit there. I was afraid I was going to get some understeer, so I backed off just a little. It did allow Hamilton to pull a little further away. And then, of course, that power deficit, you can see them pulling away from me here. Under braking, it closes back up, but it stretches right back out. But luckily, that gap wasn't as big as it was. Not a great exit there on the final turn, but I'm still so close. This is going to be a really good time. Seventh, best of the rest, P7, outstanding qualifying performance.
As we wind down from
And
the
almost
excitement of
accumulating
qualifying,
points
here's a look
in the
at
gaming
your top
decathlon.
three.
I haven't gone over
Hamilton,
those points just
Raikkonen,
yet.
and
And yes, that is
Sebastian
exactly
Vettel.
best
Goodbye for now
of
then, but
the
we're really
rest.
just getting started. Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
So it's Hamilton on pole, Raikkonen, Vettel, Ricciardo, Bottas, Verstappen, and myself. But I will not stay there because the race, well, it's going to be simulated. My teammate outside of the top 14, Charles Leclerc, all the way down in 17th place, ahead of both Williams and the Toro Rosso of Hartley, and behind Gasly.
Great work out there today. How do you think it went? It's been a great qualifying session for you. Are you going to carry that momentum into the race?
Car feels fantastic. I want the boost. There you go. Chassis department. Thank you.
We've not seen much development progression for your car recently. Why is that?
Ouch. I just hurt
Right,
my own
well,
rep.
that's everything.
That was the truth of it, though. Honesty can hurt sometimes. Alright, so I will be simulating the race. If you did not see that first episode, this is that management mode part. I'm not racing through the races. The races are simulated. I just run 3 flying laps in practice and 1 shot qualifying. The rest is done automatically. It's all about building up the car, building up the reputation, staying alive, keeping the drive going. I am now leading the rivalry here against Sirotkin in our first instance head-to-head, and I pick up a little bit of ground on Leclerc. Should also be good resource points. 100, yes. There you go, 150 points. That's the max that I get for qualifying, so well done on that. I now have 815 points. And look at that. My team reputation drops. That was because of the answer, while everybody else goes up. I shouldn't have done that answer. Should have taken the hit in one of the R&D departments.
Well done. That was a good qualifying performance.
Drive for the race. Let's go ahead and simulate that session, and I'll start explaining how the points are going to work here in the game decathlon.
And now let's take a
To
look at
master
the
each of those
drivers'
10 games.
Well, the gap at the top of the championship has been cut down after a difficult race today for our championship leader. Moving on to the driver of the day then. Anthony Davidson, who would you go for?
Let's give it to Kevin Magnussen. That was a commanding performance today. Very impressive indeed.
And here's how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes moved to the top of the table. There was also a strong showing from the McLaren team today as they make their way up the standings. After all that excitement, it's time for a lie down, I think. Thanks for joining us, and goodbye until the next race.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. So, Hamilton wins, Raikkonen second, Bottas third. So that was a 1-2 after starting in those first 2 spots. It was a 3-stopper from Raikkonen there. Vettel all the way down in P6, last of the top 3 teams. And you can see that huge gap. There was only 15 seconds back to 6th. Minute 12 back to Hulkenberg, who came in best of the rest. Alonso again with P8. My teammate Leclerc moves up to P14 after starting in P17. And There you go. I finished in P19 after starting in 7th. They do not translate your qualifying position into anything, really, in the race. It should be a boost if you're starting P7, but in just a 2-stopper, my fastest lap was a 1:42. My teammate Leclerc ran a 1:49. Just over a second faster than me, even though I started 10 places ahead of him. So, being a rookie and not being a veteran definitely affects my lap times when simulated. That adds to the challenge of this mode. Even Sorokin, who started dead last with a weaker car, still managed to finish above me. Quick look at the standings. After the first few races, Vettel has a 1-point lead over both Hamilton and Bottas. It's tight at the top. Mercedes 8 points over Ferrari, and my team yet to get into the scoring. Now, speaking of scoring, Gaming Decathlon. The Olympic Decathlon has 10 events. That's where this translation comes from, the Gaming Decathlon. And each of those have 1,000 points. So you have 10,000 points overall that you aim for to be the best. So this game has 1,000 points on offer. Here's how you get 1,000 points. Right here is the bulk of those points. You can see Mercedes has 100 right now. My team Sauber, 0 points scored. It is constructor standings. Now, historically, the best score. Mercedes has topped 700 twice this decade. One of those by 3 points. So my target is 700 constructors points. So Leclerc does count on this, not just my driver. That's the majority of the points. So we're looking for a really good, solid season. But of course, right now, you can see 3 races in, we haven't scored any points yet. The other 300 points are going to come from car development and qualifying. So I can affect things directly through qualifying. And I came close. I started this race in 7th. If I start a race in the top 5, or Leclerc for that matter, we can pick up some bonus points. So there are bonus points available for qualifying. So at least I have an effect on something. And look at that horrible, horrible race. Lose all kinds of points. No fast lap. No finishing above either driver, as Sorokin finishes above me and Leclerc. So I am losing this first rivalry. I am in danger of getting fired here in this first season. And that would spark a reset back to Season 1 to start the series over again. Team reputation at least stays the same here. Does not drop. That's the thing that I need to keep up above 0. And I inch towards veteran, which will improve those times.
We've received invitations to new historic...
Skip it past those. We head to Azerbaijan, to Baku for the next race. Okay, now those other 300 points.
We had the new parts come through from the factory. We'll get them on the car ahead of FP1.
Alright, I have parts. What do I have? Engine power, front downforce, and weight reduction. All done. 3 big upgrades. That is huge for the team. It looks like qualifying will be wet also. And my contract, I think next week I'll get my first renegotiation. And there you go. All 3 upgrades come through. And we jump Toro Rosso. Massive upgrade there. Look at that. We've almost caught the McLaren. But there's nothing in progress right now. Now, the next thing I want is that next aero upgrade, because we were dead last. We're not dead last anymore. We're above the Williams now. But I would like to get this other major upgrade on the rear downforce, but it's going to cost me 1,000, and 20 now to get that one going. So we're going to have to see if we can't grab a couple hundred points here in practice before we get into qualifying to get that upgrade underway. On to FP1 and on to that explanation of those last 300 points. So I mentioned qualifying. Okay. If I can get into the top 5 in qualifying, I pick up bonus points.
Welcome to the
Only
Baku
top
City
5.
circuit, where free practice for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix is about to get underway. This is a technical circuit which will nonetheless see some huge speeds with a near flat-out final sector that's twice the length of Shanghai's back straight. Let's see who can find the right balance in their setup today.
Carl probably mentioned the new parts that have come in from the factory. Well, they're all fitted and good to go. I hope they do the trick.
Alright, we head to our flying lap straight into the track acclimatization program. Top 5, as I was saying, of qualifying comes with a bonus for either Leclerc or myself. And it's a countback style. So, P1 is 5 points. P5, 1 point. That adds up over the course of the season to roughly 100 points if we are consistently in the top 5. That leaves 200 points. And those 200 points are going to come down to that R&D. Oops. That's not going to make the rest of this lap easy.
You've taken some minor damage.
Well, despite the minor damage to the wing, doing just fine here. Luckily, this is one of my better tracks. Oh, no, 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 no!
Okay.
Uh-oh. I don't like that corner. I do not like that corner. In the better cars, you take it flat out. No problem. The back markers,
Vettel, Hamilton,
it's a
and
problem.
Kimi Räikkönen. That concludes an interesting practice session.
A lot of the time you have to lift off just a little unless you hit it perfect. I didn't hit it perfect. I went from the tiniest bump with the wall and I'm out. Now,
Well, things didn't really go your way today. Tell us what happened. It looks like your rival bested you today, doesn't it? You had a mishap in practice. Will this affect qualifying or race day? Appreciate your time.
big mistake there. That was my first flying lap. I do have 2 flying laps left. Luckily, that did not hurt my team rep.
I'm glad you're not hurt, but that's a lot of damage for us to fix up to get you out for the next session. Try and keep it in one piece next time, would you?
Yeah, sorry. I'm trying. Anyway. The other 200 points are going to come from car upgrades. There's about 100 upgrades in all. So it's 2 points per upgrade. So I just fitted 3 upgrades to the car for this week. So that's going to be 6 points towards the Gaming Decathlon. We have 0 constructors points. So that's 0 points. And then the last 100 is the qualifying. And I got 7th, but I have not gotten into the top 5 as of yet. So that's 0 points. So I literally have just 6 points out of 1,000 towards mastering this game. So you can see that I have a long way to go. Whoa. I got oversteer there. Coming through. Like I said, this is my weakest part of the track here, is where I struggle. If I hit the wall, it's always through this area. I was just saying that this is one of my better tracks. Okay, looking good so far. Not actually as good as the previous lap that I ran. I had a lot more purples than I have currently. And I'm borderline on whether I'm going to get purple or not here on this flying lap. And with only 2 laps to run, I've got a lot of points that are going to be left on the table regardless. And here comes my tricky section that caught me out last time. Just fine this time. Like I said, if you hit it right, you could stay flat out through there. Okay, that's 555, 585. That's purple. Okay.
That's fantastic. You obviously have a really good understanding of this circuit.
And we head back to the garage. Just made it purple there. Now, I only get 1 more lap. I might choose qualifying pace. Yeah, practice, qualifying pace, practice program. Fast sector 1, 2, 3. So yeah,
I
we're
know
gonna
it's
go
tempting to
straight
focus
into that one.
entirely on the race, but we should put a bit of time aside to run the qualifying sim program. Try to run it
Heading
before
out
the
right
end
now.
of FP3 if you can.
Part of the reason why I have trouble through that sector, or through that sequence of corners that are really a straightaway, is I'm on a gamepad, not on a steering wheel. On a steering wheel, that's a lot easier to control.
In this test, we want to make sure we can lap close to our rival's pace.
A little too much curve, got a little bit of oversteer. My DRS didn't kick in when I pushed it a hair too early. Wasn't ready to open up, so I'm actually down on time a little bit. Much better through there than last time. I'm a couple tenths up now, but I want to be purple. Good fast sector 1. That's 5 points. Ooh, rain coming. Half a second up now. Alright, looking good so far. Fast sector 2. Another 5 points picked up. And I'm a second up now. If I can get through here clean. That should do it. It should be both purple and picking up all 15 bonus points from the team objectives. Maybe not, though. I'm losing time.
Okay, test complete.
Target 11.
Very good job indeed. We got a lot of valuable information out of that.
Wasn't looking. Okay, that's good for P11. Nice. Alright, that picked up some time. And that is 3 flying laps, so that's all we get. I did pick up bonus objectives here, so that helps a lot. I got 225 resource points, and that does put me over 1,000. And with that, we'll skip to qualifying now.
As all the cars are now over the line, your
Ooh,
top
that was
three
fastest
again
time.
are the Professor, Hamilton, and Sebastian Vettel. Thank you for joining us for free practice.
Nice. Okay. That'll help. Reputation with team. You could try going up for me after getting the fastest time in the practice session. No. No. You don't like that? Renault does. Red Bull does. They're proud of me. Thanks a lot. Oh, no, no, no. It's going to be rating for qualifying. I've never run a wet lap in Baku. I have no idea what to expect on that, and it could be disastrous. I could have gotten into the top 5. I've started in the top 5 in Baku before in another series, off camera, my own career. Really, Chassis? I give you a compliment and you react negatively to it? Pfft. Figures. Alright, well, it's Aero Department that is about to get another 1,000-point investment. 3 weeks for that upgrade, but that's a major one. Hopefully it is successful, as it does have a good chance of failure. I was amazed that my first 3 upgrades all went through cleanly. But with that, we head to qualifying. And it's clear that my pace wasn't quite what I expected it to be in terms of episodes.
The teams are making their last-minute adjustments before the lights go green, and the fight for pole position can get underway.
I guess part of it depends on track length. Longer tracks are going to take longer to get around. Short tracks, well, shorter to get around. 3 hot laps plus 1 qualifying lap. That's 4 laps. And then little bits of time here and there in between. So, looks like we're going to be heading out on intermediates, which is a complete unknown to me here in Baku. So, wish me good luck. Good so far. I'm the carrot at the moment. Still the carrot. There's my first bit of oversteer. I've been good so far. Hamilton's starting to pull away a little bit after that oversteer, and a little slow on the grip coming out of there. No, 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 no. And that's going to be last place on the grid. Now it doesn't even want to turn. All right, well, qualifying down the chute with the crash in qualifying. See, it doesn't want to turn at all now. The wing must be pushing into the wheel. I go from near pole to, it looks like it's going to be dead last. Well, not looks like, obviously it's going to be dead last by 10 seconds. 13 seconds, 14, 15, yeah. Oh, so sad. I was clearly looking at a top 5 before I got the oversteer. Could not correct it.
Well, that's further back than we'd like, but don't worry about it. Just means more fun for us tomorrow.
More fun for us tomorrow. And that's going to hurt my team rep
Grid
as
is all
well.
set then for the race tomorrow. But before
Leclerc,
we go, let's
10.
quickly remind ourselves
Good
of
for
our
him.
top 3, who are
Hamilton, Vettel, Raikkonen
and
at top.
Kimi Raikkonen.
So disappointing. I'm running the risk of getting fired if I can't get a few results to go my way. I had an absolutely phenomenal lap going before I got the oversteer, and I was completely off the gas at that point. I was just trying to save it. It also hurts in my rivalries as well. I lose 90 points in R&D. And my team rep drops. Bad day in the office.
Bad luck in qualifying. That's not exactly ideal. But there's no points for Saturday. Keep a cool head and make up for it in the race.
So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. It's a good result for Sebastian Vettel, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. And now I'd like to ask you, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
It's got to be Roman Grosjean. He was in another league for me today. Really impressive.
And now let's take a look at the Constructors' standings. We saw a dip in form from the championship leaders today. Their lead has taken a significant blow. Another team that will be satisfied with this Grand Prix is Sauber, whose good results moves them further up the championship. It was great having you with us for this weekend. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Until next time though, goodbye.
Alright. You couldn't see it, but I gave a nice fist bump when I saw fist pump when I saw the results. Charles Leclerc, 9th place. That is 2 points for the team, so we are on the board. That does help in my scoring. I went from 6 points to 8 points now in the game of Decathlon. It's not much, but hey, we are getting there, and we're getting somewhere. And not a bad result from myself either. Obviously, my teammate Leclerc finished ahead of me, but I did at least finish ahead of Sirotkin. I did climb out of last place up to 17th, and what may have been, if conditions were different, I was still 1.2 seconds worse than Leclerc's best time. As you can see, as I'm labeled as a rookie, it's going to be a long time coming before I can compete with my teammate on race day. But Vettel comes away with the win, overtaking Hamilton for that one, so big result for him. Bottas comes in third. The Red Bulls 5 and 6, and hey, at least they finished. I don't know why people tried blaming Verstappen for that one, but Ricardo, real life, drove right into the back of Verstappen. He broke way too late when he was already on the gearbox of Verstappen. That was entirely his fault. And it was weird that people really wanted to blame the young Dutch driver. And revisiting that for just another moment, I wonder what people think now that he's leaving to Renault. Do people think differently about that incident than they did before when he was their guy? They do. So, in the Constructors, we're on the board. 8th place, 2 points. Great job, Leclerc. That puts us above the other 2 back markers. And with the major upgrade on the way, that's all the time that I have for this episode. Every Saturday, there will be a new episode in this series, and I'm level now with Sorokin. That's good. I'm getting somewhere. So, but it looks like I'm definitely going to lose this first one to Leclerc, and it could be a long time before I win one against him. And these rivalries are going to be really, really big on whether I keep my job in these first couple of seasons as the team grows and develops. But that's going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer, and remember, I'm aiming for the best of the best. So if you're ready to join me on my journey, hit subscribe, and tune in next time on my road to the record. Bye for now, and see you next Saturday.